The word innovation, it's such a daunting word. It's 10 letters long and seems to always be followed by some amazing invention. It seems to belong almost exclusively to people like Mark Zuckerberg or Bill Gates. But when I first sat down to write this talk, the first thing that went through my mind was, I need to do something out of the box. I need to do something innovative. And isn't that exactly what we're constantly called on to do? We're called on to be innovative and creative in everything we do. Everyone from my scarily happy neighbors to Obama is talking about innovation. Now, while innovation is so highly regarded and while it's so emphasized on, we seem to have forgotten the art of social innovation. While we're practically zoomed into the future in regards to technology, we seem to be fighting the same battles when it comes to society. Think about it. Since the 1700s, we had an issue with cotton production. It had to be done manually, and hours of labor were wasted on the process. Today, issues like that have vanished. A machine does that now, and all you have to do is sit back and drive. But in the 1700s, we had an issue with racial discrimination. Why is it still an issue after all these years? To a lesser extent, of course, but why haven't we seen the same astounding progress? Well, the answer to that is, we're waiting for it to fix itself. While Apple pays its creators thousands and thousands of dollars to fix the tiniest of glitches, nobody's paying anyone anything to fix the glitches in society. Now, nobody's paying me anything, unfortunately, but today, I'm going to be talking about the 7 steps to social innovation. Now, these are the steps that Google thinks to be its pillars of innovation technologically. And I figure, if it works for a multi-billion-dollar company, we can make it work for us. So step 1, recognize our issues. We have issues. Big ones. Hear that? That's the sound of a door being opened. A door that finally allows us to recognize our issues for what they are. So let's stop shushing conversation and dialogue because it's boring or it makes for unpleasant conversation. Let's look at our issues head on and say, we're going to fix this. Because you can't fix an issue if you refuse to believe it exists. Step 2, dream big, but start small. You know, the biggest issue in today is we're taught to be realists. We're taught to be practical. So, how could one individual possibly change the world? Well, here's the good news. You don't have to change the world. All you need to do is change one tiny portion of it. I'm not standing here to spark some kind of revolution. I'm standing here so that one person goes home believing that their ideas can make a difference. So if you want to change the world, go ahead. But if all you can do is change the prejudice that lies within you, that's still a step forward. Step 3, constantly innovate, not instantly perfect. society, totally not stopping the Kardashians. But the thing with sharing everything is, it fuels discussion. Because the moment something gets popular, everyone's jumping onto the bandwagon. Step 6. Start with imagination, fuel with data. Today, we spend half our lives tapping at a piece of metal and glass that we've decided to call a smartphone. Go back 30 years and tell them that this is the future of humanity, they'd politely escort you to an asylum. But today, it's the first thing you do in the morning and the last thing you do at night. So at this stage, anything's possible. But we need to back these dreams with a little more than fairy dust. We need to find out what works where and use it so that those of us who dream of a world without discrimination can finally make it a reality. Step 7. Never fail to fail. I spent an entire speech talking about the 7 steps of social innovation. But despite all of this, it might just not work. It might fail.